Rams fans, welcome in on this edition of Rams Showcase. We're weird today, but will we be weird tomorrow? Plus, the NFC is absolutely loaded, but who is for real? And later, coffee and football? Or tea and football, I think? We preview Rams at Jags in London. Let's rock.
We here, man. We gotta take advantage of victory on one way. Let's go.
Welcome to Rams Showcase. And now, here's your host, Sheriff Joe Bags.
Yes, welcome to it, Ram Showcase. My name is Sheriff Joe Bags, at Sheriff Joe Bags, at Ram Showcase. That's where you follow along on socials, ramshowcase.com as well. Shout out Payo time, helping me bring in the show on this intro. I think we've done Payo time pretty recent, but I'm randomizing these bad boys. And, yo, if the almighty AI wants Payo again, it happens to be Payo. Speaking of Payo, by the way, not going to be on the First Down Rams show with Rams House on Friday, so I will be filling in. Details, check out YouTube Rams House, that YouTube channel. Definitely be streaming there for sure. Maybe the Payo time channel still. I'm not totally sure, actually. I'm just filling in, dude. I'm Pay Joe this time around. The LA Rams taking on Jacksonville Jaguars. That's a London stop, first London stop for a few years. It's been a few years since the Rams have been out there. We used to get these games very regularly while SoFi was being built. It was kind of part of the deal there, but we'll get into that game preview here in a little bit. Also, by the way, if you want to catch your Rams action in the morning, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 7 a.m. LA time, myself and Tuna on the Sheriff and the Tuna and the Sheriff podcast. That's streamed live on the First and Tuna podcast YouTube channel, as well as the Rams Showcase Facebook page. Audio version, that's out, available everywhere as well. You want to check it out there. Plenty of action to get into, but no more messing around, dude. Let's go ahead and get into the business here. And my main topic here tonight, we're kind of talking about the fact that the Rams are not bad. I mean, that's definitely not the case at all. Maybe a little bit sloppy, maybe a little bit of a slower start, but we're not bad, okay? That much I can tell. That much I can tell so far. All right? We are, 4-2, so we're 6 games into the season, and we get an AFC opponent this week, our final AFC opponent of the season, and it's all NFC after the bye week, so that's when the real business starts. But, I mean, ultimately, I'm just not ready to say that, we are sluggish, we're out of sorts, we're sloppy, we're cooked. Whatever else you want to say, I'm not ready to hop onto that train, at least until we've played a few games in a row that aren't AFC opponents. You know, we've only played 2 NFC games, as against the Eagles as well as the Niners. Rams looked really good against the Eagles, obviously, most of the game. They came back, obviously. And then the 49ers game, kind of throw those out. It's Shanahan versus McVay. That doesn't tell you exactly who you are. You're not going to be able to define yourself based on those games. That's very much just a one-hitter, just that's it. That game is that game. It means nothing. It doesn't mean anything for the game that we're about to play against them here in just a few weeks as well. So just keep that in mind. But last week was our 10th ever meeting against the Baltimore Ravens. This is our 6th ever meeting against the Jaguars. That was our 6th time playing the Texans, our 15th time ever playing the Titans. And I know that, there's a lot of veterans on these teams and stuff like that, and it goes deeper than that, but also it doesn't, right? When you're playing AFC, when you're playing cross-conference games, simple fact is you don't know those guys as much as they know, you don't know each other. That's it. They don't know you, you don't know them. So it's hard to game plan. The game plans are really weird, and typically what you see is a second half change. You can usually break these games into 2 halves, and they're very different because you come in, you make those adjustments, and sure, Tuna kind of commented on it and said, it's like, well, Matthew Stafford's been in the league. This is, year whatever, 17 or something like that for Stafford. It's been a long time. And it's like, well, that doesn't matter because he's played against them plenty of times. It's like, has he, though? Those are AFC opponents, and he played in Detroit. The chances that he's played those teams more than 4 times, slim, actually. So I don't think I think it does play in the fact that these are AFC games, AFC opponents against coaches we don't know well. You think we knew Brian Callahan real well. I realize he's out now, but we didn't. Harbaugh out in Baltimore, we've barely played him. That to game plan against a Harbaugh, either of the Harbaughs, now that they're both in the AFC, that's always going to be tough. That's going to be a tough task. You just don't know them as well. And I don't care if you played them 4 years ago. This is a new team now. And I know Baltimore, we played them last year, stuff like that. It was a great game and all that. But it's different now, all right? It's a different team, all this stuff. We're playing against a backup quarterback. It's really hard to game plan against backup quarterbacks because you don't understand their full tendencies. Their tendencies do change from when the starter's in, i.e. the San Francisco 49ers, Brock Purdy, and Mac Jones. It's a little bit easier to go against Mac Jones or Brock Purdy when you know just how that offense runs with Brock Purdy. We've seen plenty of examples of it. Then you get a Mac Jones in there. He's throwing the ball more down the field than Brock Purdy. So Rams weren't really adjusted for that. Did get there, but those first 2 drives resulting in touchdowns kind of put the Rams behind the 8 ball and just weren't able to recover from that. So I think ultimately what I'm just trying to say is that I firmly believe that if you just don't need to be the best team in the NFL today. We are going into week 7. If we were the best team in the NFL today, I would be more concerned with that than the way that the Rams have been playing so far. Coming in off of a 14-point win over the Baltimore Ravens, who that sounds, when you just say it out loud, sounds very impressive. But then I throw in that little tidbit of information, the Cooper Kupp-led Baltimore Ravens, who now sit at 1-5. I mean, yeah, you would obviously want to be able to pull out a higher difference in that game on average. You know what I mean? But I also think that the Rams are in a situation where it's still early season. It's pre-bye week. We know how this team has handled the last few seasons, especially when it comes to having a somewhat early bye week and knowing that if you could just get to the bye week, you can kind of reevaluate yourself, then you're off and running. I don't understand why everybody kind of forgets that that's what we're about. That going into the season, we kept talking about that of like, hey, we got all 5 of our AFC matchups within the first 7 weeks. Let's not judge ourselves based on what happens here. And let's get through the Saints, Niners, Seahawks game before we start to see, like, okay, who are we? What are we doing? Where are we at in the standings, playoff race? How's our injuries doing? So I thought we all agreed on that. I thought we all agreed that we weren't going to judge this team too harsh based on how they play against AFC opponents because that doesn't matter. All right, we're playing our final AFC opponent of the regular season this weekend against the Jacksonville Jaguars in London. The next AFC opponent we could have would be Super Bowl, which is the plan still. I don't know why everybody's already bailing on me here, but everybody seems to be, well, not everybody. I don't want to put everybody into a box like that, but there is a percentage of Rams fans that seem to be like, dude, we're 4-2, but we're not looking good at it. Like, get out of here. Crazy to me, by the way. You win by 14 points in the NFL against an NFL team at their house? Yo, sign me up, dude. I don't care who that team is. I don't care who we are and what they look like and injuries on either side. Don't care. We won by 14 points against an NFL team in their house. Give it to me, dude. I'm totally fine with that. You played a Baltimore Ravens team last year, 1-5, obviously. 2-possession lead against a team who cannot move the ball on you. They cannot throw at all on you. So why, in that situation, when you're up 17-3 in the third quarter, why would you get the ball back and pull out some money plays? Why would you be pulling out some, reverses, some jet sweeps, some your creative play calls and stuff like that? Why would you even do it, dude? They're not going to move the football on you anyway. What's the reason of putting this stuff on tape this early against a team that is looking like they may not make the playoffs? I mean, obviously, when Lamar comes back, all bets are off, but 1-5 is quite the hole to dig out of. But either way, you got out of there with a win. That is the goal, right? That is the goal. Get out of there with a win. 5-3, I don't care, man. Just win the game, dude. Like, it's it. How you win the game is far less important than the fact that you win the game. That is the most important part. I will take ugly wins over beautiful losses any day of the week. And maybe my mindset with all of this is just remembering things like the 07, 08, 09 Rams, where it was like, I mean, we were losing pretty games. Like we would have good games where it was like, man, we just didn't work out that time. They were just better. And I'll take this. I'll take ugly wins over beautiful losses no matter what. But against AFC teams, I think it's reasonable to try out some things in different situations. You get a 3rd and 11. So it's like, you know what? Let's put this play on tape. Let's not necessarily, maybe the mindset's not, like, obviously you want to pick up the first down, but maybe the mindset's not, if we don't get this first down, it's over. Like, we need to put everything into picking up this first down. It's like, you know what? Let's run this play. Well, we got playmakers. I mean, certainly somebody can catch a football, turn around, break a tackle, snap an ankle on the field, and then get a first down. That's absolutely a possibility. But putting stuff on tape now, then maybe when, December 14th, we're taking on the Detroit Lions, we pull out a look where they're like, oh, it's maybe this, and it's not. Dude, that's what you're doing, right? I mean, that's a more important game in that situation in December. That's a more critical situation. Already, I'm saying this in October. That is a more critical situation to get your money plays and all this stuff, all your creativity. That's where you want it. Not in week 6 against a 1-win Baltimore team where they're going to play 2 quarterbacks on you. That's not where you want to pull out all your stuff. So I understand that people are upset that the Rams only won by 14 points, but that's not the important part, I guess, of it, is the fact that the Rams won. It doesn't matter if you win by 4 points or 40. You get 1 win. 1 notch in that column. That's it. Win by 1 point, man. Win by 100. I don't care. Don't make me pull out Fast and the Furious quotes on you, all right? I don't want to do it, okay? It's 2025. We don't need that, okay? Just saying. We don't need to pull out everything against a team we are going to beat. At no point in that game did it feel like, Rams are up 14, but it's like, yeah, but Baltimore might turn it on you. That was never going to happen. So it makes perfect sense. Just kind of coast it out. Get out of here with a dub, dude. You're going overseas next week. Let's go and wrap. You already lost your best wide receiver. Let's go ahead and wrap this, man. Let's get out here, get the dub. Let's move on, man. Stack the dub. You want to know this week. Let's try it again next week. That's it. That's how I feel. Exactly like Nate Landman said running off the football field. Like, hey, we want to know. We're going over to London. Hopefully go want to know next week. He just broke team records out here, and he's just like, yeah, well, we got another football game next week, which is the truth. And that will keep happening for X amount of weeks, and then eventually it won't, and then we'll be sad talking about how much we miss football. Just to come back around football and then just be so mad about how everything is going on, it's going to be fine. Okay? It's going to be fine. But in a close game, play calling, like I said, it's going to be different. It's a week 6 game. You're up by 14 against a team who cannot move the football on you. Your defense is playing incredible. Why would you pull out all this crazy stuff to put even more points on the board? Sure, if it works out and Kyron breaks a run, or Devontae catches the ball over the middle, makes somebody miss, and keeps, obviously you're not stopping yourself from scoring, but you're looking at a 3rd and 14 situation where it's like, okay, let's run this. Let's just run this one. Let's put this on tape. Let's get this look out there. Let's put this look into everybody's inbox when they're studying for us later this year, and we'll see how it goes. But being the best team in October wins you no hardware. This team is loaded and very young. It makes sense that over the course of the season, the Rams defense will get better. They'll get more aggressive. They'll play stronger together, especially new captain, new play caller, Nate Landman coming in here. It's all going to settle in a little bit more, you would think. We'll get Akello Witherspoon back eventually, helping out the secondary. It stands to reason that over the course of the year, especially after the bye week, this defense will get better. They're already playing really good. So, tall task, but definitely possible. It also makes perfect sense that over the course of the season, the offense is going to settle into its identity. Right now, it's Puka Nacua is the identity. Well, good/bad news, however you want to look at it. The cards are dealt either way. Puka Nacua is out this week. It's seemingly. But the cards are dealt, and let's find a way to make that a positive, missing Puka Nacua. And in my mind, it's like, oh, now we get a chance to see how Stafford is with Devontae as his true number 1 without Puka out here. We get Tutu back this week, likely. Let's get him without Puka in here. Whittington, what can he do now in this offense? Mump. We have it. Maybe the tight ends get more involved this week without a Puka Nacua for Stafford to rely on. I still say to this day, I said it as soon as it happened, that in my mind, the year that Matthew Stafford became a really good quarterback was the year that Calvin Johnson left. He needed to read. He couldn't just throw it into triple, quadruple coverage to Calvin Johnson anymore. Had to find guys that were open. And that's exactly what we may be looking at this week. So, silver lining of Puka being hurt is I think that this actually could be a benefit to the Rams for the rest of the season if we can get that continuity, that connection from 9 to our other wide receivers and tight ends. If we can get that rolling, then you add Puka Nacua back in and a different level of comfort with Stafford and everybody else. Dude, sign me up. That sounds absolutely awesome, man. So I think I say all this to say that I refuse to throw in the towel right now. I refuse to say that this Rams team, we're done. We're not gonna do it. We're not putting it together because we're going into week 7. Being the best team in week 7 doesn't win you anything. Last year, what were we doing in week 7? Nothing cool, dude. Nothing cool. All right. So I think that going into this year, once we get to like through some November games, let me get a December game or two, then ask me how I feel. Maybe it'll be different. Maybe it'll be worse. I don't know. Maybe we don't win until then. Who knows, dude? Who knows? It's a weekly situation here. Just because the Texans beat the Ravens by 34 meant nothing for us. That didn't mean that we had to do that or we're going to do that without, a crazy game plan or something like that. And also, why would we? Why would we pull out all the stops against a one-win Baltimore team? Cross-conference doesn't even really help you to pull out the dub that much. You know what I mean? Like, you stack a win in the column, obviously that's great. NFC, man, that's when we need. That's where we really need to put our firepower. You know what I mean? So that's where I'm at. Rams posted this today, and I spent too much time at work checking this out because I think it's absolutely awesome, man. It is, where would you sit if you had the chance to pick your seat in this situation here? And I got let me pull it up for myself here so I can see what I'm looking at. But I think that ultimately, man, there's so many good options here. I'm looking at that one in the back there between Aubrey Pleasant and Sean McVay. Yo, you better make that a long flight, all right? Because this is a quick 3 hour. I'm not going to get through my conversation, all right? I'm going to need more time than that. Put me in 2B. Yo, that trash talk's going to be crazy, dude. So much fun. 1B. Those good times, dude. That feels like probably some naps. I'll be honest. Maybe some naps. Maybe not that one. Sitting 3E between Kobe and K-Dot. That sounds like an absolute party, dude. That sounds so much fun. That's probably my number one pick right there. You got 5B out there with Kinchins and Kyron. Love that one. Right across the alley there, you got a 5E sitting right between Higgs and Nate. Probably doing some crosswords or something if I had to guess. I don't know why. I just feel that way. But but I want to know from you, man. Where would you be sitting if this was this is your pick? I know I didn't even mention like the Puka row, the 2-2 roll with Q. Man, yeah, Omar and Witt sitting on the other side there, man. I mean, there's not a bad seat. That's what I'm getting at here too. Is not a bad seat. You go up and sit next to Tay and Kobe. Not a bad seat in that, man. But I do want to know which one you would pick. I think it's absolutely awesome. All right, moving on to some standings here. We'll take a look at the NFC West here, as the San Francisco 49ers still sitting in first place with a 4-2 record. Seattle and LA all 4-2 records there. Rams sitting in third place, though, 0-2 in conference and 0-1 in the division, so that's where you get that number from. San Francisco lost to Detroit last week. This week they host the Atlanta Falcons. And Seattle, they did defeat the Jacksonville Jaguars, the Rams' opponent this week, and they will be hosting the Houston Texans on Monday Night Football this week. Rams defeated the Ravens, will be taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars early in the morning in London for that game, and we'll get into that full game preview here shortly. And the Arizona Cardinals sitting in last place, 2-4. They lost to the Indianapolis Colts this week, and next week they are hosting the Green Bay Packers. So rough sledding if you're Arizona Cardinals, which we are not, so bummer. Anyway, and a quick peek here. We'll make graphics and stuff over the bye week, so we'll get into the rest of the West stuff with the graphics and all that, and the playoff race post bye week. But to let you know, right now the Buccaneers sitting in the number 1 seed in the NFC, so they would be off if the playoffs ended today. The Rams would be playing at the Green Bay Packers. The Seahawks will be playing at the San Francisco 49ers, and the Detroit Lions will be playing at the Philadelphia Eagles. Every team sitting in the playoff race right now is 4-2 or better. That does include the AFC. All wildcard teams have at least a 30-plus point differential, with the Rams being on the low end of that, plus 30 for the Rams. Seahawks and Lions plus 49 right now. Absolute chaos, and that is more than all the division leaders at the moment, which is your Bucks, Packers, Niners, Eagles. So Rams and Seahawks and Lions all doing better than that as far as the differential goes. So let's see here. Yeah, so that's, like I said, the Rams will be playing at the Green Bay Packers. Obviously, if the season ended today, it doesn't. We obviously expect plenty of shakeups for that. We got the full game preview. Rams taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars. We'll get into that right after this break. It is Ram Showcase. Welcome back, Ram Showcase. My name's Sheriff Joe Bags. The 4-2 Los Angeles Rams taking on the 4-2 Jacksonville Jaguars. This game takes place in London, Wembley Stadium, 6:30 a.m. LA time for kickoff. But anybody going out to the game, we're looking at mid-50s and light rain for this one. So kind of similar weather to what we had last week in Baltimore, but maybe just a little bit more precipitation for this one. We'll get Rich Eisen, Kurt Warner, and Sarah Walsh on the call for anybody checking that out. Obviously, no distribution map this week, as there's no other games going against this one. It will be on NFL Network to check that out super early in the morning. For you bettors, our Rams are -3, -148 on the money line. The over/under 44.5. They have got the Jags at about 21.5 and the Rams at about 23.5. If you're just doing team specific, so they are anticipating this game fairly close. So interesting stuff there. We'll take a look at the international series, as, of course, not the first international game so far this year, obviously, but first for the Rams in what feels like kind of a while, man. So the international history, I guess this isn't history, but in the future, Rams will be in Australia next year. That is the only international team confirmed in any location for next year is Rams hosting a game in Australia. Last time the Rams played a international game, it was 2019. That was the Rams versus the Bengals, 24-10 Rams. Cooper Kupp absolutely went off that day. Love to see it. The Chiefs and the Rams was supposed to be an international game in 2018. Supposed to be played in Mexico, ended up in L.A. Due to a Shakira concert. And that feels like I'm making a joke, but it's most of you know it's not. That is a real thing that happened, man. 2017, the Rams played the Cardinals at Twickenham Stadium. That was a 33-0 win for the Rams. That was McVay's first year as a Rams coach. And before that, 2016 against the Giants, that was Jeff Fisher times. It was a 17-10 win for the Giants at Twickenham Stadium as well. And then last time the Rams were at Wembley Stadium, it was 2012 against the New England Patriots, 45-7. For the Patriots at Wembley. Not good. Not good. In fairness, though, the Rams did have a lead in that game. I don't mean to brag, but Chris Givens caught I think it was like a 45-yard touchdown pass from, was that Bradford? Whew, that was a long time ago, dude. Dang, man. Rams all blue on that one. I remember they went blue on blue. Chris Givens got up, did an awesome celebration. I was like, yo, are we about to win this game? No. No, we were not. So the Rams, that obviously puts us 2-2 internationally with their first trip outside of the U.S. since 2019 on its way this weekend. The Jags have the most international games, and it's by a margin. The Dolphins and the Vikings both have 6. This will be the Jaguars' 14th international game. They are 7-6 internationally. So with the Rams win, we can put them at 500 all time. Absolutely love to see that. Take a look at our pants picks here as the Rams will be rocking the white jersey for the first time since week 1 when the Houston Texans came to town. So that was the last time America saw it. But clean sweep here for the pants picks as everybody going royal. We have not seen royal pants on the year so far. But for a London trip, doesn't it just make perfect sense that you would go royal pants? I mean, it checks out to me, man. So everybody across the board, royal is your picks for this week. So we'll see what happens. Obviously, we get those pants usually on Thursdays. So hop in, though. This is a big deal. It's a game sweeping the nation. Everybody knows. Your mom plays it, so I don't know why you don't. Hop on in, dude. Hop on in. History of this matchup. This is the 7th all-time meeting between the Rams and the Jaguars. The Rams do lead the all-time series 5-1. The most recent came on December 5th of 2021. The Rams won that game 37-7. Great times, man. That was my first regular season game at SoFi. Absolutely incredible. We got to see Jalen make some plays against his former team. Obviously, overall, just a really cool day. OBJ caught a touchdown. Van Jefferson caught one right in front of me. Yeah, good stuff, dude. It's an absolutely awesome game. Obviously, a 30-point win. Big stuff there. So, first and only ever game between the Rams and Jags that was not played in October was that December matchup. First ever between these two, October 20th, 1996. The Rams did win that game, 17-14. The lone Jags win came on October 18th of 2009. Jags won that game 23-20, but it was 09. Jags, you ain't special, dude. We were losing to everybody that year. Get that out of here, dude. MJD went off on that day, man. He scored 3 times against the Rams. Leonard Little had a pick 6, so that was pretty sick. But Rams losing in overtime in that one. Josh Scobie hit a 36-yarder in overtime for the Jags after they won the toss. So who knows what would have happened in that game if that would have happened more modern rules. Who knows? But that was also the 09 Rams, so probably the same, I guess, right? Stands to reason, man. So, but a lot of stuff that we're looking for in this one, obviously. A lot of stories heading into this game. Jags are so much better than people expected them to be. They are really, genuinely playing some really solid football. They are making some mistakes, but they are playing some really good football. They are second place in the division at 4-2 behind the 5-1 Colts. The Colts' only loss is to the LA Rams. They are coming in off of a loss against the Seattle Seahawks. Before that, they did win 3 straight, all by one-possession games, but one-possession games seem to be a theme for the 25 season so far. Not a ton of blowouts. I know that we did see a decent amount. What was that, week 5? We saw some good blowouts, but overall, just not really seeing massive differences this year, which I kind of love that, I'll be honest. So this is, let's see here. Last week was the first week for the Jaguars without a turnover on defense. They're just playing some really aggressive football, man, but the Seahawks play some really smart football that don't allow for a lot of turnover opportunities. So I think that's kind of what happened last week. They are first in picks against Stafford, who only has 2 on the year. So quite the battle there, man. Devin Lloyd, the linebacker, he's got 4 interceptions, but he is also not traveling to London as he is dealing with an injury. Jordan Lewis has 2, and 4 others down the column. That includes 3 coming from safeties. So definitely some good stuff coming from that secondary of the Jags, but also they're able to give up some yards, man. It's like they were playing with an entire team of Janoris Jenkins's Jankai? Janoris Jankai. They're just playing with a bunch of them out there, man, where they're either getting an interception or you're burning them. It's no in between right now, but they're doing fine on offense as well. Nothing overly flashy, but they're playing good ball. Led by former Rams OC Liam Cohen. I think Trevor Lawrence is looking a little bit more comfortable than he had this year than he has in the past. And Travis Etienne's playing some really good football, averaging over 5 a carry. So obviously really solid stuff there. On the Rams side, entering off of win against the Baltimore Ravens. So obviously before that was the TNF loss. But it feels like there's just something that's not firing right now with this team. Something just hasn't clicked somewhere, and this may be the perfect week to try to correct that because it's your last AFC opponent, so losing this game doesn't derail your season by any means. Especially London games are so awkward and weird, and they tend to never be able to be predicted properly. So it's just going to be, I think, a little bit of a weird one. But this is a good week to try to, settle yourself in. And again, we never want to see Puka Nacua out of a football game, but that now means that Stafford is somewhat forced to play a full game with Adams as his top guy, which I realize is such a first world problem. You know what I mean? It's huge for us, but it's also such a first world problem. It's like, oh man, we don't have access to Puka Nacua. All we have is Devontae Adams instead. It's like, dude, some teams would be murdering people for the opportunity to have this much luck as far as that goes. And also incredible injury luck so far. Don't want to jinx anything, but Rams have been able to be mostly healthy, especially if you look at the other teams in the league. I feel like we say that every year as like Rams talkers. We always kind of mention like yeah, we have some injuries like that, but look at every other team and tell me how you feel about ours again. We tend to do okay in that world. I think our training staff is absolutely awesome, man. But Tutu expected to be back. Adams obviously healthy. Jordan Wellingspiel he's looking more comfortable. We got X and Mump there, both available and very good football players as well. So I think that, obviously you never want Tutu out or Puka out, but feels like we're going to be okay at the very least. You know what I mean? Like it's not like a Puka or bust kind of offense where if we don't have access to him, it's like, well, who else do we even have? This isn't like the 09 Rams where it's like, if Steven Jackson's not playing, what are we going to do? This is the 25 Rams where if Puka Nacua is not playing, it's like, okay, well, we got Kyron, we got Higbee, we got Devontae, we got Tutu, we got Jordan. I mean, we'll be okay. Like, we can be okay at the very minimum, you know what I mean? So, and we also, tight ends as well. They seem to be rotating pretty heavy. We're seeing a lot of Higbee, a lot of Allen, a lot of Ferguson now as well. He's starting to get more of a rotation, so could be on the receiving end of some targets maybe soon as well. I don't want to get too ahead of myself, You never know. Yeah, obviously, again, we never want to see Puka hurt, but we're playing the cards that we are dealt, and that one of those cards is a Puka that's dealing with an ankle, and we have a bye week after that. So the reason I'm talking about him like this is I don't expect him to play this week because we have the bye week next week, where then it's NFC Slate City, dude. So keep him ready for that. And it's better to miss him for one game than have him play at 60% the rest of the season. You know what I mean? That's kind of how I'm feeling about that. So, yeah, we just got to play the cards that we're dealt, man. So, could be some big days for some others as well. And I think that's rather exciting stuff to talk about as well. That Puka being out could mean, what if Tutu goes off for 146? What if Devontae has a 174-yard day? It's possible, dude. That's all I'm saying is it's absolutely possible. But yeah. Puka, watch him play. Watch him play anyway and be absolutely killer. Watch him just go off, too, because he's Puka Nacua and he's not human. That almost feels real, too, man. Let's take a look at the connections in this one. Some former Rams who are currently on the Jaguars. We're going to start with tight ends Hunter Long and Johnny Munt, who, according to the Jaguars' official website, are both listed as starters. Two former Rams tight ends that are listed as starters. And last week, 10 targets between the two of them, so they are definitely involved in this offense. Head coach Liam Cohen, obviously a former offensive coordinator of your Los Angeles Rams. Short timer, nothing too crazy, but he was around. Passing game coordinator Shane Waldron is also spending some time with the Jags out there. And it's just a whole new regime. I mean, it's first year OC, DC, as well as a head coach. We've got tape now, and maybe them coming in because they have talented players, you know what I mean? So, in what seems to be a solid offensive scheme, a very aggressive defensive scheme, but it seems like now, we've got the tape on what their tendencies are going to start to be, so maybe that's kind of the good timing of this one. It's like, hey, you want a rookie quarterback in week 2 like we had against Cam Ward and the Titans in Tennessee, but for a team like this, new head coach, veteran quarterback and good wide receivers and a good running backs like that, you almost want to see the scheme now. So having this one a little bit later is good. You want the inexperience out of Cam Ward because it's only his second NFL game. Here you want the tape and as much evidence as you have on what they like to run in different situations. So I think it actually is rather beneficial for the Rams to be getting this game. I mean, we're still what I consider early season, but we're about mid-season, getting to that point now where we kind of get some information on tendencies and stuff like that. So let's take a look at the matchup here. Rams offense going against the Jags defense. Rams have a top 5 offense right now, putting up just over 386 a game, going against the 23rd ranked Jags defense, 357.7. Passing the football, as the Rams are making their money with Stafford, man. 3rd in the NFL, putting up almost 270 a game. Jaguars giving up over 256. That's 30th in the league. Rushing the football, Rams are 22nd here. We don't do a lot of attempts, 105.8 per game. The Jags giving up a little 91.5. That's 8th in the NFL, so top 10 unit there. Average points being put up, Rams 23.3. That's 16th in the NFL, dead center. And then Jags give up 20. That is tied for 7th. 3rd down conversion, Rams are 20.3. I feel like I wrote that wrong. I think it's 40.3. It's tied for 16th, and then Jags giving up 41%. That is 23rd in the NFL. So obviously what you're looking at there is Rams seemingly have an opportunity to throw the football all over this Jags defense, but that's also what we saw last week against the Baltimore Ravens. It will come down to game planning as well as some health and just kind of what their game plan is too. I know we say that a lot, but the opponent also has a say. You can't just do whatever you want to do because you want to do it and you think that you should be able to. You also got to figure out what they're trying to take away from you and how to adjust on that. Jaguars defense, lots of picks, but giving up lots of yards, man. I'm really interested to see what the McVay game plan is for this one, considering last week against the Ravens, it didn't seem, well, in fairness too, there was a lot of drops from Devontae. We lose Puka Nacua at some point in the game as well in the second. So, I mean, obviously that stuff absolutely plays in, but I'm curious to see where he's trying to attack and how often he's trying to attack this Jaguars secondary because they can intercept you. So you do want to kind of hedge your bets when it comes to throwing the ball because you can get them. They can also get you on that. He gave up 346 yards to the Seahawks last week, the bulk of that coming through the air. So, I mean, obviously that's where you're going to want to attack. It seems like that's going to be the case, but we also have a head coach that knows us at least a little bit, so maybe has a little bit of insight on how to slow us down. I don't think he knows our game plan or anything like that, but at least a little bit of tendencies of like, well, he likes to attack here, maybe we got to watch out for this, like stuff like that. So that stuff does come into play. Leader in sacks for the Jags defense is going to be Eric Armstead. We've seen plenty of him, former 49er. He's got 3.5 on the season. And they have really been solid against the run, so that's certainly something to look out for. Kyron Williams, Blake Corum, that combo there. Doesn't really seem like we're going to get Jarquez Hunter involved quite yet. I'm not sure if that'll really even happen this season. I do anticipate that when he starts really getting some carries will be next year. We'll kind of see how that shakes out, I guess. But right now, Kyron and Blake, that's totally formidable duo. No issues on my end there. Some guys that we're looking at on the other side here. We're going to start with cornerback Jordan Lewis, playing strong football so far this year. He's going to have a tough task against Adams, but that also almost helps him because now you don't have a Puka Nacua on the other side tearing up the ankles of your homies over there. So that is at least something good for Jordan Lewis. He's got 2 interceptions on the season. Solid helper on tackles. He's got 4 TFLs, tied for the team lead as a corner. So obviously an aggressive player, aggressive bunch, man. This seriously, like if you can get him, you can get him. Like if you can, I'm expecting some double moves in this one, especially against Jordan Lewis, who seems to be playing some really aggressive football. Next, we're going to go with Josh Hines Allen. Awesome stuff last week with his son being an honorary captain. Oh, man, I'm here for all that kind of stuff. I love that with my whole heart, man. After being diagnosed with leukemia, obviously. Dude, that little guy is such a little champion, man. Big fan. Love that. But Josh Hines Allen, he leads the team in quarterback hits, but he only has half a sack. So he is getting there, but seems like when he's breaking free, get rid of that dang ball. I know that much, you know what I mean? But he is tied with Lewis for most TFLs with 4, and just clearly getting a lot of attention when it comes to pass rush. But it's because he's a really good player. It makes perfect sense to kind of shade a little bit that way. And next up here, we're going to go with cornerback Tyson Campbell. No picks on the season, but he has knocked down 6 of them. He is tied for second on the team with 34 tackles. So definitely getting in there on that action. The defense kind of flies around, man. So, I mean, these are 3 names that I'm picking out to watch, but there's a lot of really good players to watch out for when it comes to the Jags defense. I think they're playing some good football. Probably a playoff team, if I had to guess. I don't even know if they're sitting in the playoffs right now, but it does kind of seem like that's where they're sitting in, because a lot of the AFC teams that even are 4-2 and stuff like that, they just, I'm not including Jags here, but they don't seem as complete as the Jaguars do. And Jags were my team coming into the season of, I said they were going to be the most improved from last year. Jags and Patriots were the 2 teams that I kind of penciled in as like, no, watch out for them. Those teams are going to be good. And I mean, it's kind of working out. Obviously, Patriots 4-2, Jags 4-2. We'll kind of see how the season unravels. But so far, man, I mean, if you pay enough attention, you pay close attention on who's hiring, who you're getting for your coach, GM, Gladstone out there for the Jags. Love to see that. But you pay attention to those kind of hires, Mike Vrabel in New England, and you can start to tell who might be good. So there's that. Best one-on-one for this matchup. I'm going to go A.J. Jackson against Josh Hines Allen. Hines Allen has not been able to secure getting to the quarterback much, but he is getting in there, dude. Like I said, leads the team with 8 quarterback hits. He's starting to settle in, and I do feel like he's going to start to get home soon. He does only have the half a sack, so obviously he's probably getting a little bit antsy out there, maybe gets a little bit aggressive out there. So obviously A.J. Jackson will be tasked with making sure that drought does continue, keeping number 9 uprights. 3 to C on the Rams' offensive side. We're going to start with Devontae Adams. I'm not excited to not have Puka. I love watching Puka Nacua play football. It's rather exciting. But number 17, Devontae Adams, is going to be out there. And I am so excited to see what Devontae Adams, being the feature wide receiver in the Rams' Sean McVay offense, what that looks like. All right? I might be one of those weirdos. I know that there's a few of us out there that, like, I mean, obviously I'm not stoked that anybody's hurt ever for the Rams, but when it happens, it's like, dude, I'm kind of excited to see this guy. Like, I'm kind of excited to see what he's got. You know what I mean? Would never root for or cheer for or be happy about an injury, especially on our own squad, but hey, it's the cards we've gotten, and I'm really curious to see how this shakes out. Devontae, especially after last week where he had multiple dropped passes, I am expecting for him to just be at a different level, a little bit different level of focus this week, but it is going to be rainy, so something to watch out for. Next up, tight end, Terrence Ferguson. That's right, man. He's starting to get more reps, and it feels like the targets are going to start coming in as well. We saw him get a good chunk of more reps this last week against Baltimore than we had in previous games, making an appearance as early as the third play of the Rams offensive series. So love to see that, man. And just like, it feels like we're just kind of like, okay, get some reps in there, man. Get some live action. see how it's all coming together. But we saw the catch that he had against was that the Niners? Then we saw that catch, man. So I think that ultimately we've gotten just a little crumpet, if you will, of what Terrence Ferguson can bring to the Rams offense, and I'm ready for the full English breakfast, dude. So bring it in, man. You like my London references, dude? That was incredible. And next up here, we're going to go with wide receiver Tutu Atwell, the Tutu train. Obviously, again, mentioned in Puka Nacua, likely missing this game. Tutu could see a decent amount of looks, man. He was kind of held out for precautionary reasons last week. The Rams do tend to be very smart with their injuries, especially lately. And Tutu, I'm figuring, is back this week. He was limited in practice on Wednesday, but should be back. By the way, those videos of practicing at the Orioles Park, I forgot the name of it already, but so dope, dude. That was so cool. Seeing Kyron run out. That shot of like the whoever's video admin out there following Kyron up the stairs out of the field. That was the coolest shot of them all, man. But also to be like such an iconic venue with that warehouse back there and stuff like that. That was so cool to see the Rams practicing out there. But maybe Matthew Stafford's going to ruin our welcome because he's standing on the mound in front of a sign that very clearly says, please no cleats on the... and he's just rocking his cleats, dude. You don't tell number 9 what to do. Get the hell out of here with that. But Tutu Atwell, man, the Tutu train. We've gotten a flavor of what he can pull out as well, man. So obviously with needing another wide receiver in the action, stands to reason, man. Tutu could absolutely have a big day in this one. We'll see what the game plan is for 1-2-2 train. When's that thing leaving the station? Let's flip over here, the other side here. We're going to look at the Jags offense going against the Rams defense. Jaguars on offense are sitting middle of the road, about 345 a game. The Rams defense is 13th, giving up 330. Passing the football, 15th for the Jags offense, and Trevor Lawrence, 207 a game, with the Rams giving up just 200, 199. That is a top 10 unit at number 9 overall. Rushing the football, 11th in the league for the Jags offense, putting up 124 a game, where the Rams are giving up 107.8. That's 15th. Average points being put up, 23.2 for the Jags. That is just like 0.1 less than the Rams are putting up. That's 17th. The Rams give up 18.3. That is third in the NFL. And third down conversion, the Jags convert 35.4%. That is 25th. And the Rams giving up 36.5. That is a top 10 third down unit for your Rams defense here. So the Rams defense, obviously, has been a little bit streaky, and especially starting a little bit slow. We saw it the last 2 weeks that the opening drive for teams, they were able to kind of just work it down on us. We were able to kind of shift it and adjust mid-drive against the Ravens as they were kind of pulling out really heavy sets, which I feel like we should have expected that. Cooper Rush was starting. They got Derrick Henry, but whatever. And then against the Niners, their first 2 drives ran it down on us for touchdowns. So obviously a little bit faster start would be nice here, but they can also, this Rams defense can definitely smother you at any moment, man. So, I mean, like I said, last week was a rough start. I mean, you get, Derrick Henry with like a 7-yard run, then then a first down, then it's like just kind of, it's like, whoa, hold on, slow down here, man. But the Rams did play really well last week against the defense. Definitely better pass attack this week. Obviously, Cooper Rush and Snoop Huntley for the Ravens last week wasn't really going to be getting it done. But Trevor Lawrence, whatever you think about Trevor Lawrence, he is a lot better than both of those guys. So certainly a stronger pass attack for the Rams. They are 9th in yards per carry and 24th in yards per pass attempt. So that kind of tells you exactly where we're dealing with here, though. They are definitely they're going to try to get the ground game rolling. Makes perfect sense. You got Travis Etienne out there. It hasn't been an issue to get the ground game rolling, but I think that ultimately the way that the Jaguars are not able to fully get the pass game going yet, like Trevor Lawrence to Brian Thomas has not yet really solidified itself. And obviously Travis Hunter, he's still getting involved a little bit, but it does seem like this week he will get a little bit more involved. But I think that overall, the Jaguars are very much just going to, and it's, again, we're dealing with a little bit of a rain game in this one. So it does stand to reason that Travis Etienne and that ground attack will get the bulk of the attention as far as the play calling goes out of the Jags. Seahawks last week sacked Lawrence, was it? I said 5 times. I think it was actually 7, if I'm not mistaken. But either way, a big opportunity for the Rams and their strength, which is rushing the passer. Between Byron Young and Jared Verse just last week, the pressures were absolutely insane, and against a decent offensive line. So this week, obviously, going against another okay offensive line, and I think that the Rams have an opportunity to really mess with Trevor Lawrence, but probably the most mobile guy that we've faced so far this year. Trying to think here. We got Jones, Rush, Stroud maybe would be in there, and then Ward. But those are weeks ago. So, yeah, but a little bit more mobile for Trevor Lawrence in this one. As for guys we're looking at on the other side here, we're going to start with running back Travis Etienne. 2 touchdowns on the year, 5.3 yards per carry. That's absolutely nuts. Obviously, really getting it done there. It doesn't seem like they put all their eggs into that basket, but it certainly is the most effective basket those eggs are in. That makes perfect sense. I absolutely love that. Next up, wide receiver Brian Thomas still seems to be getting, his second year gears engaged as a full go, but he's obviously a super incredible talented player, man. He can certainly go off at any time. 13.9 yards per reception is really nice, but 7 yards per target is kind of rough. Those numbers are very different, and like the 13.9 yards per reception, top on his team. 7th in yards per target is 4th on the Jags. So obviously that connection has not solidified so far in the 25 season, but obviously with Trevor Lawrence and Brian Thomas, anything can happen at any moment. Maybe this is the week it starts firing. Feels like that's kind of our luck, but hopefully not. And last up, we'll look at quarterback Trevor Lawrence. 8 touchdowns, 5 picks on the season, so nothing super crazy. That is kind of standard numbers. He looks more comfortable this year than he has in past seasons, and I kind of stand by that. I think that he just seems a little bit more confident this year, but he is also just like not the same quarterback that we're used to. So I feel like we're judging Trevor Lawrence, Rams fans are, based on knowing who Matthew Stafford is. He is so not that guy. You know what I mean? Like, he's not a master motivator, Trevor Lawrence. I just think he's a really quiet, calm, collected dude who's just, like, not going to complain. He's not going to get all fiery. You're not going to see him get up and, like, don't look at me. He's not going to be pulling any of that. It just doesn't feel like he's that kind of guy. But he's under pressure a lot, man. He's getting sacked 13 times. More than 5% of his dropbacks, he is getting sacked. Stafford is at an even 5, so per dropback, Trevor Lawrence is getting sacked a little bit more, but they're about even in that world. My best one-on-one, I'm going to go with the Rams corners entirely against Travis Hunter. It does sound like the Jags are going to start featuring Hunter more into their offense. It seems like this is the week that kind of starts happening, because this is the week that they started talking about that as like, we want to get him as like on certain plays. We want him to be the primary, certain comments like that. So look for Travis Hunter in this one. The reason too that I put out the Rams corners in this one specifically is simply because I think last week was their best game against the Baltimore Ravens. I think that the corners played absolutely great. I know that Quentin Lake is not a corner, but he got that pick in man coverage. So, I mean, obviously, I think that everybody just played in the secondary. Everybody played a really, really tight game last week. So I'm hoping that continues. Obviously, we all hope it does. But the corners coming off of last game, I think that the confidence level is a little bit is growing a little bit, and hopefully we can get Ahkello Witherspoon back in action as well, because that's only going to make us better, obviously. 3 to see for the Rams defensive side. We're going to start with Nate Landman, the man of lands. 31 tackles over the last 2 games is absolutely crazy. A 17 tackle game last week is a Rams record. We did see that it was like Laurinaitis, Ogletree had a 16 tackle game. Mark Barron had a 16 tackle game one time. So it certainly is, it's in there. But Landman, man, going off for 17, it was like I was doing my rewatch of the broadcast, and it was like Landman in there for the tackle. Nate Landman gets him. Nate Landman pulling him down. Nate Landman gets it. It's like okay, Nate Landman, this guy's good, dude. 53 out here, man. Who's 53? We all know him now. He's obviously Green Dot captain, Nate Landman. Absolutely on fire, man. But obviously we're gonna need him again, man. So the big push that Landman has helped with is the run defense, and we're going against a team that likes to run it. Travis Etienne, man, we're going against really, really good running backs week in, week out. And obviously, Derrick Henry was able to put over 100 on the Rams, but overall playing some really good football against these really, really good running backs. Obviously, we saw that Derrick Henry had a couple of pops there, but nothing that was like, no one got embarrassed, which going against Derrick Henry, I'll take that much as a win, Next up, we're going to go with Quentin Lake. First pick of his career last year, dude. Absolutely love to see that. And not only that, not only was it like his first pick of his career, it wasn't one where he was just like sitting, playing midfield and then just like gets a dart to the chest or something like that. It wasn't even that way. Manned up on Zay Flowers, pulling away with the pick. Yo, hell yeah, Q. That's absolutely awesome, man. So I'm kind of wondering if this is going to be like the start of a wave, like just what I tweeted at him was like pick a game for the rest of the year, dude. Pick a game, man. Pick a game. So hopefully that streak continues, and we get Q Lake, Captain Q, getting another one. Also, Right on Q back, by the way, the show, Right on Q on the Rams YouTube channel. Killer stuff. And next up here, we're going to go with corner. We're going to go with Darius Williams. D-Will. I'm really liking the way Williams is playing right now. Obviously, we saw some weird stuff go on in the early season where he didn't even play in week 1 against the Texans. Healthy. Was just like, nah, this ain't your matchup, man. Fair. Hey, what do I know, man? We also have some really good corners. Forbes is really good. Durant's really good. Witherspoon's really good. We've got good corners out here. So for Darius Williams to kind of get those games where it's like, nah. And then in this one, he's had a couple of really, really strong just passes batted down, man, on some really tough matchups. Had a really good one early last week. So I'm just really digging the way that Darius Williams is playing right now. It feels like he's just kind of getting that swag back a little bit, man. Like it just kind of felt like that was maybe not as potent in the early season, maybe weeks 1 through 4. But ever since then, it kind of feels like we're getting a little bit more in there. So I'm absolutely fired up for it, man. Darius Williams, who I'm looking at for this one. Biggest key in this game. I'll give you your keys here. That's how I'm going to end. I'm not going to do predictions. Don't do predictions, but I'll give you the biggest key here. Number 1, turnovers. The Jaguars defense leads the NFL in interceptions and turnovers in general. Rams don't really turn the ball over that often. Only 2 interceptions coming from Matthew Stafford. Obviously, we do have some fumbles, but just 2 interceptions coming from Matthew Stafford. I think that this is quite the matchup here. It's going to be some risks on both sides. The Jags defense trying to take some risks, trying to step in front of some balls, but also some risks from the Rams, maybe trying to pull some no looks, dude. Because when you're playing against a defense that is this aggressive, Matthew Stafford being able to pull off no looks might be the key to just dicing these dudes up. Especially in a rain game like that, man. That is the variable that's so hard. It's an AFC opponent and in a rain game. Those are like 2 very big variables. This could be a 13-7 game or 45-7 Rams. You decide. But that's my biggest key, turnovers. If we're giving Trevor Lawrence the ball, our own 35, bad things are going to be happening. You know what I mean? But if we're making them catch a Cardi kickoff every time when they want the ball back, I love our odds to win this game. If we win the turnover battle in this one, I think average starting field position and turnovers, you look at those 2 items in this game, and I think that will tell you who wins. We got Fan Quesos. That is on the other side of this. Wait, well, hold on. Don't go. Game preview, Tuna and the Sheriff. That'll be on Friday morning, 7 a.m. Also, this is an early game, but I will be doing my pregame live stream, okay? We are going to be up early morning, probably pounding Red Bulls, dude. But it's going to be awesome. We're going to be taking off real early in the morning and going to catch this action. So join me in the morning, Ram Showcase Facebook page and YouTube channel. for that pregame live stream as we wake up early, dude. Get your stretches in. It'll be the first pajama game that we've had in a long time. So good stuff, dude. Fan quesos. That's on the other side of this break. It's Ram Showcase. Welcome back in. This is Ram Showcase. My name's Sheriff Joe Bag. We're going to get over to our fan quesos here. First, we're going to start over on the Facebook page. If you would like to drop a fan queso, by the way, I post that on the YouTube, the Ram Showcase YouTube, as well as the Ram Showcase Facebook page. I do share that to my personal as well. That's typically where I get questions. That is the only two places I'm posting right now. That's the only two places that I usually get questions. So if you're trying to drop some quesos and you think I'm missing it or something like that, let me know if there's a different place you want me to drop that where we can add you in, dude. Add you in. First one here, first few here coming from Edwin. Emphasis on the win. I can't wait to wake up super early on Sunday to watch our Rams play. I mean, I'll put it this way. Obviously, I'm fired up for the Rams game, and my alarm's gonna go off, and I'm gonna be wide awake. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna be like, Rams game. You know what I mean? I'm gonna be fine, but that's pretty early. I feel some naps in the afternoon games for when the rest of the action starts here. But yeah, should be good. Says I got 3 for you. One, with Puka not playing this Sunday, who do you think will step up out of our wide receiver group? I think that answer is pretty easy, dude. I think it's Devontae Adams. I think that Adams. We've had opportunities and moments where we've seen like, okay, Adams is awesome, hell yeah. But I think that this is one of those where it's like, okay, man, this is why you're here, dude. Like, in case we need you now, man. Like, this is like, you're not playing complement to Puka Nacua anymore. Now, we need you to be the guy this game. Last AFC game against the Jaguars in London, situation could be a lot worse, all right? But I think it's Devontae Adams is going to be the one to really rise up out of that group. Number 2, do you think Landman gets an extension with us, or do you think he deserves... And do you believe he deserves to get an extension? Absolutely. Obviously, I would say yes. I don't know if there's a Rams fan out there who'd be like, I don't know. We'll see. That person doesn't know what they're talking about if that's the case. But I think that ultimately, yeah, I think he will get extended. I think that the positive impact he's had on the Rams defense, I think is palpable. And I think as a captain, a green dot, I think it's something you definitely want to be able to keep around. Found our linebacker is kind of how I feel about it. And also found the depth. Nothing negative to say about guys like Omar, for sure. I love Omar Spates. I'm glad he's a starter. I'm glad he's with us. But now we also got like Dolak. I mean, these guys are crazy, man. Like, it's just so cool to see a room completely full of undrafted guys, and they're absolutely killing it, man. Dolak, what a machine, dude. That guy is absolutely awesome, man. That's crazy. That's where the real decision comes in. Is like, who do you want to keep around? Like, do you keep all these guys? I mean, because special teams, obviously, that's a big factor as well. But can you keep Landman, Spates, and Dolak all just rotating them when you run a lot of nickel? That's another key for it, man. And I don't want to say that I want to get rid of any of these guys, but I don't think that the trade option is off the table. Just simply asset valuation wise. As we're kind of looking at, I would like to keep all these guys. But if we're in a situation where we want to add like a top tier corner or something like that, and they want a linebacker, it's like, well, okay, like Dolak's awesome. Here you go. Like, it'd be like reluctant, but it's like, but also we have Omar and Landman, so it's not like we're gonna be totally screwed if we get rid of one of them. You know what I mean? So, and again, I don't want to. I'm just kind of mentioning that, but I do think it gets extended. I actually think that we'll hear about it randomly. I think it'll be one of those things where in like week 12 on like a Tuesday, it'll be like, oh, by the way, Landman's here for 3 more years. Moving on. Like, it'll be like a quick little like, and I don't think that the contract will be anything crazy. I think that the guarantees will be pretty hefty, but I think that the contract itself, it sounds like Landman is not going to force us to break any banks. You know what I mean? It's not like he's going to come in here and be like, yeah, but I just broke your record for tackles in a game, so bump that number up. Feels like he likes to be here, which obviously you don't want to burn him in any way. This is his job, you know what I mean? Like, so I pay him what he's worth, but it doesn't sound like he's going to be the one to be like, no, not playing for that. Not enough. Get out of here. Blah, 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 blah. You know? I don't know who that's an impression of. I guess you can decide whoever you feel that's appropriate for. That's all. And 3, if you could go to an international game to see the Rams, what country would you want to go to? You can choose from Australia, Japan, or Germany. Oh, those are good options because those are the countries that the Rams are listed as. We also have China in there. If I were to go see the Rams play, I mean, mostly I'd want to see Italy. I don't think that we're there, but I think that'd be awesome. But Ireland would be up there. I know we wouldn't be the home team. Of the ones that we've got, though, because you say you can choose from Australia, Japan, or Germany, I think I'd go Germany. I think that would be absolutely incredible. I'd crush so many beers, dude. That'd be so much fun. Yeah, I'd have a blast out in Germany, I think, actually. Kind of crazy. Kind of crazy how small Germany is. Maybe that's just my America brain coming in here, but it's like, that's not even that big. Nothing out there is that big. It's crazy. We're huge out here. It's nuts, dude. Yeah. I think I'd go Germany. Feel good about that. Next one here, coming from Brett Singleton. Says, you and I sat through some really, really bad Rams teams, so I feel like you might resonate with me. Yeah, that's totally fair, man. Yeah, we sat through some stuff, dude. Says, obviously, I'm loving how good we've been, and competing is amazing. Never want it to end. But am I crazy for being excited at a new chapter when it comes? New coach? New QB? Unknowns? Man, football is awesome. Absolutely love this, dude, because, yeah, I am excited for it. And I think you're the same way, is like, Rams can be dope and also terrible. We're just going to love them the same. You know what I mean? Like, whether we're winning Super Bowls, whether it's the 21 Rams or the 09 Rams, we were here the same, ripping the same stuff. Like, we were talking about the same, like, I don't know, man. And I don't want to, like, I'm not here to say to anybody else that, like, oh, you weren't in that, so, like, you're not real or anything like that. But it's like, I see it. I mean, it's the same thing with, like, people in June who still have Rams profile pictures. It's like, okay, that's one of my people. The people who change them, it's now, and no hate, dude, no hate, but it's like you change it to a Dodgers, whatever. It's like, okay, well, you're just a different kind of fan than me. Never going to tell anybody how to be a fan, but I will take a bullet for the Rams right now. I don't care. Even for them, just one game win. Yeah, dude, do it. I'm in. So yeah, I'm here for the ups and the downs, man. Like, it's really fun to be good. It's also fun to be bad, man. I don't know. I'll have to try to find a way to put this into words where it makes sense. But, like, I'm just here for the Rams no matter what. Whether they're winning or losing, I'm here. I mean, I like all of it. I like the ups. I like the downs. And what you're saying here, it's like excited for a new coach, a new QB, all the unknowns and all this stuff. It is so exciting because if you think about, like, the 21 Rams, if you would have said, like, yeah, but in 25 we only have 8 guys from this team still here. We're still going to be awesome, but we're going to have a defensive rookie of the year who looks like he can be a defensive player of the year. We're going to have this wide receiver that makes Cooper Kupp look like an average receiver. Like, we're going to bring in a future Hall of Famer, Devontae Adams. We're going to get a running back who watched, Steven Jackson play. Like, he's going to be our guy, like, all of those things come into play. And I love it. I love all of it, dude. Like, the fact that, like, we are going to have, there is going to be a coach after Sean McVay. Who's that going to be? Are they going to be good? Don't know. I'm excited for it. I'm not in a hurry for it, but I'm excited for it. We're going to have a new quarterback after Matthew Stafford. Are they going to be bad? Probably worse than Stafford is today. If they come in and are better than Stafford already, yo, what? That's crazy. But it also happened with Cooper Kupp. So who knows, dude? Who knows? But I think that ultimately, yeah, I'm excited for it too. I'm in no rush to get out of this era, but I am excited for it. It's like, because, and I'm just drinking it in, man, because I feel like a lot of my time, I very much am like a live in the moment kind of guy. Like, Saints? I don't care about the Saints game right now. Why would I? We have a whole bye week to get through, a game this weekend, so why would I care? I'm very live in the moment right now, and right now we're dealing with Devontae, no Puka maybe, a little bit of a slightly hobbled Tutu, but he seems to be okay, and, like, this is what we're dealing with right now, and this is where I'm at, and I'm fine. If I do zoom out, and it's that way, actually. If I do zoom out and then, kind of take a look at the bigger picture, it is one of those where I look at 29, 30, 31, all these years that are in the future when it's like, oh, we probably don't have Sean McVay. We definitely don't have Matthew Stafford. We probably don't have a lot of the guys that we have on this team right now that we're all rooting for and loving. It's going to happen. it's also kind of exciting. I don't know how to explain it, dude. You kind of asked me this question and kind of like weirdly put me on a weird spot, but I understand exactly what you mean. I don't know how to put it into words where it's like, yeah, it's fun to also be bad. I don't know. And maybe that's too because like it does get rid of all those like lame fans, the lame fans that are only in it for the wins and stuff like that. Because like there's so much more to this, man. There's so much more to this. Like I understand the Super Bowl or bust thing. I understand that, but like if that's the only thing you care about, do you even care that Eric Dickerson has the single season rushing record? He never won one. Like, do you care that Steven Jackson was so sick for so many years? Do you care that James Laurinaitis was there? Like, those are kind of my questions. Is like, do you start watching in the playoffs, or do you only start like watching like week 13 when the playoff race starts shaking up? In 07, 08, 09, what were you feeling, dude? Are you okay? Like, if it is Super Bowl or bust, I mean, and obviously that is the goal every year is to go in and win the championship, but there's so many other things to look at as well. Obviously, that's number one. That is the one thing that you look at over here. But there's also like single season performances, great seasons entirely. Last year, the 24 Rams, great season entirely, didn't win the Super Bowl. Great season. Won a playoff game in a massive fashion in a really heavy situation as well, and then played the hell out of the Eagles. Take it. Successful season. Love it. Not mad one bit. I mean, I was mad at the time, but like whatever. It's over now. Can't change it now. You can be as mad as you want to. It doesn't. Yeah, because they're not going to change the score and give us a Super Bowl trophy. So I don't know, man. I'm here for all that stuff. So that's kind of where I'm at. I think I answered your question, Brett. I feel good about it. Moving on. Payo time. Situation. Your roommate comes to you to ask you to paint Rams colors in the following rooms. Would never happen. He's a Patriots fan. Bathroom, kitchen, living room. Which Rams colors do you paint each room? One bone, one soul, one royal. Oh, man, I want to do all of them, all colors. Assuming you can decorate on top. Love the show. Thank you. My bedroom is going to be, I think, bone. And just so I can make so many jokes. You know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Okay, I'm not going to try to be super obvious here. This is a family-friendly show. But if my walls in my bedroom are painted bone, welcome to the bone zone. Dude. Those one-liners write themselves at that point. Next up, we'll go with give me soul for the bathroom, just because I want some brightness in there, dude. When I'm trying to get ready in the morning, I need some vibrancy. You know what I mean? I need to be woken up aggressively. And kitchen will go royal, dude, because that's what I have left. I don't have a good reasoning for that one, but that is what I have left. Next one here from Rams House. Whose house? One big thing you've learned from doing about a decade of Rams Showcase. Oof. One big thing I've learned. It can go away at any moment. Being good is not guaranteed. You can be awesome one week and terrible the next. It has nothing to do with each other. Each week is its own thing. And I think that in so many different realms of this stuff, like as far as like the podcast itself, the Rams on the field, stuff like that, it's like, you don't think that I'm absolutely dealing with stuff sometimes, dude? Like, you think I'm just on here every week is the greatest week of my life and I'm just fired up all the time? I've come in here with crazy depression, dude. But I like to think you can't tell. Not right now. I'm feeling fine. But like, there's been times where I've been going through some stuff and just turn it on, man. But I think that's it too. It's just kind of like take it week by week, take it day by day. The game itself, this itself, and just know that, I mean, whatever happened last week, whatever I said last week is gone. It's out there, man. I can't change anything that I've said. It doesn't matter. And nothing that I've said next week has been out yet, so I can change whatever for next week. Next week is an open slate. It's clean, and I absolutely love that. So I think that one biggest thing I've learned, man, is just I think that the show itself has taught me to kind of to take a minute, man. Just take a minute and just enjoy where you're at. I think that that's definitely taught me that, just to enjoy what you're doing right now. Like Brett asked about, like, talking about new coach and new quarterback. We're week 7 of 25. I don't care. I don't care right now. Doesn't matter. It doesn't no benefit to anybody for me to start thinking about who our next head coach is going to be. Don't matter. We'll deal with that when we get to it. But not right now. I don't care. Next one here from Rams House. If Kobe Turner was a candy, what would he be? Ooh, that's a good one. Huh. I'm going to say for Kobe Turner that he's more of like a Three Musketeers because nothing bad about it, dude. Nothing bad about it. A little, just not flashy, man. Not flashy, but super wholesome. Super wholesome. You get that nice little layer of caramel, not caramel, it's caramel, in there. That's really solid. But just like wrap that in some nougat and some chocolate, dude. I feel like Kobe Turner is like it's not overly flashy, nothing overly crazy, but people who that's their favorite, they do stand by it. And they're like, I don't care what you say, this is my favorite. Three Musketeers, Kobe Turner. I love these questions. Keep these coming. Next one here from Payo time. Kind of a weird question. Hell yeah. Great start. Do you remember Zach Stacy? Sure do. What the heck does this say? Always wondered what would have happened if he stayed with the Rams with him and Gurley. Huh. The huh is in there. So I can. Dude, that's an interesting one, man. I haven't thought about Zach Stacy in a while, and I'll be honest. Ever since I saw that video of Zach Stacy, that one at his house, I've not put any positive thoughts or emotions into Zach Stacy since then. So I haven't thought about Zach Stacy in like a positive light in quite a while. Honestly, that's kind of crazy to bring him up. And I'm so curious why Zach Stacy popped into your head right now, man. Yeah, I after that video came out, I was off of Zach Stacy. Done. Get him out of here. I'm cool. Don't need to associate at all. But if you would have stayed, I mean, if we want to take that out, just remove that from your brains for just a second and just talk about on the field, I think it would have been a really interesting combo. I think that ultimately the Trey Mason and Todd Gurley combo was just fine, but Zach Stacy being involved in that as well, like maybe Mason was the one to leave if that was the case and Zach Stacy stick around. I think that would have been a better combo because I think that Zach Stacy was better than Trey Mason at times. Trey Mason had his games for sure. That 52-0 game against the Raiders, he absolutely went off, but 89-yard touchdown run and stuff like that. But yeah, I think skill set wise, I think it would have been a really, really good pairing, Gurley and Stacy. But human being wise, Todd Gurley is a pinnacle human being, and Zach Stacy, call it what he is. He's a turd person. All right, moving on. Rams house. When will we get a sick Braden Fisk game? Dude, I was just thinking about this. Last week I was doing my rewatch. He was blowing up a lot of run plays and not like getting tackles, but he was like shoving offensive linemen into the mess and ruining the play. So I think it's on its way. Can happen at any time, dude. Fired up about that. Let's see here. Next one here. Ooh, this is a first timer over here, dude. Tatua Jess 23. Hopefully I said that right. Welcome to Fan Quesos. Hell yeah. Says, if the Rams came to you and told you that you're in charge of creating another alternate uniform for the team, sticking with the current modern style, of course, which colors would you choose for the helmet, jersey, pants? Ooh, sick queso, by the way. Let me think about this. So helmet, keep me the helmet, man. Keep the helmet the same because of the rest of it. It'll make sense. Give me the regular royal soul horns on the helmet. Love the helmet already, though. It's so dope. But keep that. Next up, give me a yellow jersey in the style of the bone where it says Los Angeles Rams on the chest plate, not just the Rams. Bone is the only jersey we have that does that. But give me the shoulder of the rivalries uniforms. That's got the full horn. Give me that. In a blue horn, obviously, and then, all right. Yep, I'm thinking. You got to go royal numbers for that. But other than that, man, give me white pants. White, not the bone pants. Give me a white pant. So give me royal helmet, yellow jersey, white pants. Pinnacle, dude. Right now, my favorite combo is obviously royal helmet, bone jersey, soul pants. We don't really mix up bone like with the pants combo anymore. It seems like every time we wear bone, it's just bone on bone, which is so boring, but whatever. That's the least important part. I get it, but like still kind of lame. Yeah, let me lock that in, man. Love this question, by the way. But yeah, I'm going royal helmet, regular helmet, yellow soul jersey, and white pants. I think that combo would be so sick, dude. It would be reminiscent of some old school 80s Rams throwbacks and stuff like that. So heck yeah. Next here from Payo time. Which Rams quarterback to wide receiver duel would you trust to complete an 80-yard plus TD pass the most on the first play of the game? Stafford to Tutu, Warner to Bruce, Bolger to Holtz, Bradford to Tavon, Goff to Cup. Love the show. I thought that was one more suggestion. Thank you, Payo. Ooh, man, that's a tough one. Okay. Man, I got to say, I really still to this day always really loved Sam Bradford's deep ball, man. Give me Bradford to Tavon, man. I think that that's such a good one. Bolger to Holt is sneaky, scary good, though. Warner to Bruce, obviously great. Stafford to Tutu, we know that can happen. Goff to Cup, that can certainly happen. These are all plausible. Let's just go ahead and say that. But if I'm give me burner and a beautiful deep ball. Give me Bradford to Tavon for this one, man. But Stafford to Tutu is probably my number 2. Then Bolger to Holt. Then give me Warner to Bruce. Then Goff to Cup. And the reason I'm going Goff to Cup last is because I feel like we didn't see a lot of bombs when it came to that. That would be like a situation where Goff hits Cup on like a 10 or 15 yard out, makes somebody miss, and then just is off to the races, dude. And then like somebody comes in, lays a block on a safety, and then he cuts up or whatever, like that's how kind of I feel like an 80-yard pass would happen to Cup. So that's my order there. Great question. Rams house, whose house? Favorite Benny Cunningham moments. Ooh, I'm trying to remember what it looked like. He had a touchdown against the Bears. That's all I remember. I remember thinking it was so sick. Yeah, give me that. God, oh man, I'm blanking on that one, but that's a good one. Favorite Austin Davis moment? Rams at Bucks. Rams are in, oh man, what was that the game that Robert Quinn got to Jameis Winston at the very end? I think it was. Because I was fired up, dude. Oh man, what was that dude's name? He did the JCPM jerseys that we used to do giveaways on the show. What was his name? Dang it, man. I remember he asked me, he was like, how do you feel about Austin Davis? And I was like, yo, get me a jersey. Lock it in, dude. Get me a jersey. Give me a Davis jersey, man. I loved the energy of Austin Davis. It seems like he's like Baker Mayfield is what I wanted Austin Davis to become. And what I thought he might. You know what I mean? And it didn't. He did not. Did not. But yeah, give me that one. That whole game, man. I just remember being fired up about that one, man. The way he was moving in the pocket and just getting rid of evading the pressure, getting rid of the ball. Yeah, give me that one. I'm pretty sure it was that same game. I might go try to watch that game. That's going to happen soon, man. And last queso here from Rams House. In memory of this being the 6-year anniversary of the Jalen Ramsey trade, let's take a look back. Where were you when the news broke, and what were your raw reactions? Love my man Jalen. Jalen is awesome. He looks so dope in the Steelers uniform too. I hate how cool he looks. But I think aesthetics are certain players just have it, man. Like they just have that swag. Jalen's one of them, man. He can make any uniform look badass. Man, where was I? I was probably at work. I mean, that's usually where I am at when I get news, which is real cool for a person who has a YouTube channel and stuff. But yeah, I don't remember where I was. My raw reaction, I do know that though, was just being like, "Let's go!" Like just being like, "Oh man, we got one, man!" Like yeah, and yeah, I remember one of my best friends. Her name's Taryn. She's a big Jaguars fan, so we've had a lot of fun this week. But one of her favorite players is all time is Jalen Ramsey. So when we made that trade for Jalen, it was like, "Let's go!" And like yeah, she was rocking with it and stuff like that. Obviously, Jags were not very good right then, but like yeah, it's been good stuff, man. But yeah, good timing too to bring this up as we get into Jaguars time. One of two of the 4 Jalen Ramsey teams facing off this weekend, man. Hell yeah. Yeah, I don't remember where I was though. Probably at work if I had to guess. Like I said, I was at work a lot for those. I remember where I was when I heard about the Sam Bradford Nick Foles news though. I was walking in old Colorado City, right west of downtown Colorado Springs. I was working and we had just I think I was wearing like I was wearing a Rams jersey when we traded for because it was like the start of free agency, so it was like Happy New Year kind of thing. And I remember that. I remember being like, no way, Nick Foles. Like, and now it's so funny to look back on that and be like, I was so pumped, dude. Good stuff. Thank you for your quesos. I dropped those on the Ram Showcase YouTube and Ram Showcase Facebook page. Feel free to drop them, dude. We'll be at next week. I'm not sure exactly what next week's show is going to look like, but we will get a bye-week show in there for you. But this week, make sure you're up early, man. Set your alarm for Sunday. Early game for the Rams and the Jaguars playing in London, 6:30 LA time. Make sure you are awake. Don't want to be waking up in the third quarter, you know. That'd be a bummer. Rams are up 34-10. You're like, oh, missed it. Like, so get that going on. No, of course, join me, Tuna, and the Sheriff. That is Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 7 a.m. LA time. You can catch us live on the First Tuna Podcast YouTube channel and the Ram Showcase Facebook page. At Ram Showcase, at Sheriff Joe Bags. That's why you follow along on socials, ramshowcase.com. But that is going to do it for me. I am Sheriff Joe Bags. This has been Ram Showcase on Sports War Radio and the Fan-Sided Network. For those of you who aren't Rams fans, our thoughts and prayers are with you. For those of you who are Rams fans, thank you so much for watching, and go Rams.